Hello, dear students. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, previous cesarean. Previous LSCS, a case of previous LSCS. It means a patient has come to you. She is a case of previous cesarean scar, be it a vertical scar or a Pfannenstiel scar or a Joel Cohen scar, anything like that, and the patient has now come to you. How do you proceed? Very important, because you have case scenarios coming to you with previous cesarean. At the very onset, I would like to tell that nowadays we are trying to reduce the incidence of cesarean section. Why do we want to reduce the rate of cesarean section? This is because increasing cesarean is the causative agent of placenta accreta and placenta percreta in today's scenario. So we have to decrease the incidence of cesarean section. How do we decrease the incidence of cesarean section? Remember, this is a question which is sometimes asked to you. How do you reduce LSCS rate in your hospital? So number one, what we can do? Number one, we have to increase TOLAC. What do you mean by TOLAC? TOLAC means trial of labor after cesarean. So when you increase trial of labor after cesarean, it leads to more and more VBAC. VBAC is vaginal birth after cesarean. So thereby decreasing the rate of cesarean section. Number two, increase the rate of instrumental vaginal delivery. Instrumental vaginal delivery, either in the form of forceps or vacuum, you have to increase the instrumental vaginal delivery. Number three, decrease the cesarean for primigravida. Primigravida means primary cesarean section you have to reduce, because first time ही अगर cesarean हो गया तो next भी उनके most of the centers do not give trial of labor, so they end up in having repeated cesarean sections. So try to decrease cesarean section for primigravida patients. Number four, you have to reduce electronic fetal monitoring. When you reduce electronic fetal monitoring, continuous fetal monitoring like CTG, if you use more and more, then little bit of fetal distress also gets surfaced, so you go for unnecessary cesarean section. Number five, you have to increase assisted breech vaginal delivery. So breech delivery maneuvers has to be mastered, so that we do more and more breech deliveries in our centers. Mostly multiparous breech should be delivered vaginally. Then you have to do more and more counseling in the antenatal period, so that you decrease CDMR. What do you mean by CDMR? These terms are very important, you should remember. CDMR is cesarean delivery on maternal request. So discourage patients for having cesarean delivery on maternal request. Until and unless it is indicated, do not do cesarean section. Number seven, you have to follow Robson's classification. Robson's classification, I will be telling now in details. What is Robson's classification? This classification has been made to reduce the increasing incidence of cesarean section in today's scenario. Number 8, you have to do frequent audits of your labor room. Doing audits and then criticizing the unnecessary, unindicated cesarean sections will help in decreasing cesarean sections in all hospitals. Number 9, you have to decrease induction of labor. Unnecessary, unindicated induction of labor has to be withheld. This is because, always remember, spontaneous onset of labor has more chances of ending up in vaginal delivery, whereas induction of labor has more chances of landing up into cesarean section, because the nature does not want the labor to proceed in this case. Okay, and finally, you have to increase perineal exercises in antenatal period. So perineal muscle relaxation exercises have to be increased, so that there is more chances of pelvic relaxation and vaginal delivery. So these are the 10 points you are normally asked in examination. How do you decrease cesarean section in your hospital? So coming to important topics of today, first of all, Robson's classification. So Michael Robson, he has given this classification of 10-point classification. So we divide patients into 10 categories in Robson's classification. Number one consists of primigravida. Primigravida means first time she is pregnant. Then it will be a singleton pregnancy. Singleton pregnancy means one baby in the womb, एक बच्चा है पेट में. It should be cephalic presentation. It should be a term pregnancy, that is more than 37 weeks, and it should be a spontaneous onset of labor. If all these 5 criteria are fulfilled, then it is group 1 of Robson. Group 2 is again same. It is a primigravida, singleton pregnancy, cephalic presentation, term, but it is induction of labor. It is not spontaneous, means खुद से दर्द नहीं स्टार्ट हुआ है, दर्द आर्टिफिशियली पैदा किया गया है. कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ डाइनोप्रोस्टोन जेल और मीजोप्रोस्टॉल, or by any mechanical agent you have started the pain, then it is category 2, because these patients will end up in more of cesarean rather than category 1. Coming to category 3. Category 3 consists of multiparous women. Multiparous women means she is multipara, not primigravida. Rest of the thing like category 1, singleton, cephalic, term and spontaneous onset of labor is category 3. Category 4 is multiparous, singleton, cephalic, term, but induction of labor. Okay, so spontaneous onset, induction, spontaneous onset, induction, both for primies, and then multis is category 1, 2, 3 and 4. Category 5 very easy, consists of all patients who will be going for TOLAC or VBAC, means everybody who is having previous cesarean section, previous one cesarean section, which is the topic which we are studying today, is Robson's category 5. Robson's category 5. Coming to Robson's category 6. Robson's category 6 is primigravida and having breech presentation. So all the primigravida with breech presentation are category 6. Category 7 is all the multigravida and breech presentation is category 7. Category 8 consists of all the multiple pregnancies. Multiple pregnancies का मतलब क्या है? Either twin pregnancy, triplet, quadruplet, कितने भी हो, कितने भी बच्चे हो पेट में, rather than one बच्चा, they are all category 8. Coming to category 9. Category 9 is transverse lie or oblique lie. Okay, transverse lie means any lie apart from cephalic and breech, okay, comes in category 9, because they will generally need cesarean section. Transverse and oblique lie में cesarean तो होगा ही, so category 9 के patients में cesarean होगा, तो कोई गलत वाली बात नहीं है. And category 10 consists of all preterm fetuses. Preterm fetus, okay, means less than 37 वीक्स के सारे कैटेगरी 10 में आ जाते हैं. ओके, सो रिवाइजिंग वंस अगेन. कैटेगरी 1 इज प्राइमिग्राविडा, सिंगलटन, केफेलिक, टर्म एंड स्पॉन्टेनियस ऑनसेट ऑफ लेबर. वही जब इंड्यूस की करेंगे लेबर तो कैटेगरी 2 हो जाएगा. कैटेगरी 3 एंड 4 आर मल्टीपैरस विमेन एंड अगेन दे आर आइदर स्पॉन्टेनियस ऑनसेट या फिर इंड्यूस्ड एजेंट्स. कैटेगरी 5 इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी टुडे. प्रीवियस सिजेरियन सेक्शन, प्रीवियस 1 और प्रीवियस 2 सिजेरियन अभी फिर से आया तो देन शी इज़ कैटेगरी 5. कैटेगरी 6 इज़ प्राइमी ब्रीच. कैटेगरी 7 इज़ मल्टी ब्रीच. कैटेगरी 8 इज़ मल्टीपल प्रेगनेंसी, मीन्स एक से ज़्यादा बच्चा है पेट में. कैटेगरी 9 इज़ ट्रांसवर्स लाई और ऑब्लिक लाई. एंड कैटेगरी 10 इज़ ऑल द प्री टर्म fetuses लेस देन 37 weeks of gestation. So what we need to do is, why have we divided it? This is because we have to reduce cesarean in category 1, category 10 and then category 6. These are the areas where we have to, and category 3 we have to reduce cesarean section. क्योंकि अगर spontaneous onset of labor हो रहा है then there is more chance of vaginal delivery, we all know. So unnecessary cesarean in category 1 and 3 should not be done. Okay, देन उसके बाद कैटेगरी 6 एंड 7 का हमें मोर एंड मोर असिस्टेड ब्रीच वेजाइनल डिलीवरी कराना पड़ेगा. एंड देन प्रीटर्म fetuses में we will try not to do cesarean section, try to do normal vaginal delivery for these patients. Okay, so this is why Robson's classification has been made. Now once we have known the Robson's classification, let us come to category 5, which is the topic of discussion for today. So category 5 patients consists of all patients who have had previous cesarean section. So how do we generally monitor? So always remember the decision for VBAC versus, that is TOLAC, versus ERCS. Okay, what do you mean by ERCS? Elective repeat cesarean section versus TOLAC, trial of labor after cesarean. TOLAC दे रहे हो मतलब you are wanting vaginal delivery कराना चाह रहे हो, and elective repeat cesarean मतलब आप cesarean करना चाह रहे हो. So this decision should be taken by 36 weeks period of gestation. Very very important. By 36 weeks of gestation, patient and doctor should be sure whether she should be given trial of labor or she should be taken up for an elective repeat cesarean section. Okay, so at 36 weeks we will already decide. Okay, because if you are wanting the patient to go into trial of labor, then उसको तुम normal spontaneous onset of labor के लिए you will leave till 40 weeks. 40 weeks तक you leave her and let her develop pain. If she doesn't develop pain after 40 weeks, then only we will go for induction of labor, because unnecessary induction of labor will again land up in cesarean section. So better let the patient go into spontaneous labor and wait till 40 weeks. लेकिन अगर हमें इलेक्टिव रिपीट सिजेरियन करना है तो पेशेंट लेबर पेन डेवलप होने से पहले पहले हमें इलेक्टिवली सिजेरियन करना पड़ेगा. अदरवाइज शी विल डेवलप पेन ऑल्सो एंड देन एंड अप इन सिजेरियन ऑल्सो, तो वो मॉर्बिडिटी बढ़ जाता है. देन वी विल डू सिजेरियन बिटवीन 38 to 39 वीक्स. रिमेंबर, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो इट डिपेंड्स, हम पेशेंट को 40 वीक्स तक छोड़ देंगे स्पॉन्टेनियस पेन आने के लिए, या फिर 38 to 39 वीक्स पे हम इलेक्टिव सिजेरियन करेंगे. सो दिस डिसीजन हैज़ टू बी टेकन बाय 36 वीक्स पीरियड ऑफ जेस्टेशन. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो हाउ डू वी डिसाइड कि कौन से पेशेंट को ट्रायल देंगे एंड कौन से पेशेंट को सिजेरियन के लिए, रिपीट सिजेरियन के लिए लेंगे? फॉर दिस you have a scoring system. There are actually many scoring systems which you will find in the internet, but the scoring system from which questions generally come and is expected that you should know is the Flamm and Geiger model. FLAMM, Flamm and Geiger या Geiger model बोल सकते हो. Flamm and Geiger model, which is very important prognostic marker to decide for whether we will go for TOLAC or we will go for ERCS, elective repeat cesarean section. So who had given this? First of all, Dr. Bruce Flamm had first of all given this classification. Dr. Bruce Flamm is from University of California and Dr. Geiger is also from University of California. So it has been validated first in California and now all over the world it is available in the form of online apps also, offline application also. So there are 5 parameters which we see in this, and this is done at the onset of labor. At the onset of labor मतलब जब पेशेंट लेबर रूम में हमारे पास आ रही है पेन के साथ, तब हम ये स्कोरिंग करेंगे एंड देखेंगे कि वेदर शी इज़ अ गुड कैंडिडेट फॉर trial of labor or not. If she is not a good candidate, then take her up for emergency cesarean section and do. And if she is a good candidate, then you can give her trial of labor. So the first criteria which we see is the age of the patient. If age is less than 40, अगर age less than 40 years है, then you give a score of 2. If the age is more than equal 40 years, then you give a score of 0. So स्कोर जितना ज़्यादा होगा उतना ज़्यादा चांस होगा नॉर्मल डिलीवरी का, मतलब टोलैक का स्कोर ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. सो यू सी अ पेशेंट जितना जितना ओल्ड एज होती जाएगी उसका सर्विक्स विल बिकम फर्म एंड सो चांसेस ऑफ हैविंग वेजाइनल डिलीवरी आफ्टर सिजेरियन सेक्शन विल रिड्यूस. Number 2, the second criteria is previous डिलीवरी. ओके, हिस्ट्री ऑफ प्रीवियस डिलीवरी. सो प्रीवियस कोई वेजाइनल डिलीवरी हुआ है कि नहीं. इफ शी डिड नॉट हैव एनी प्रीवियस डिलीवरी, शी हैड ओनली वन सिजेरियन सेक्शन and now she has come for TOLAC, then my score will be 0. But if she had one vaginal delivery prior to cesarean section, then my score will be 1. If she has one vaginal delivery after cesarean section, then my score will be 2. Means she already had a TOLAC, a successful VBAC already हो चुका है, तो इस बार ज़्यादा चांस है. And if she had two vaginal delivery, one before cesarean and one after cesarean, then my score is 4. Very much favorable. पहले भी cesarean से पहले भी एक vaginal delivery है, cesarean के बाद भी एक successful VBAC है, तो बहुत अच्छा score है कि इस बार वो VBAC successful हो जाएगा. ठीक है. The third criteria which we take is the reason of previous cesarean section. Reason of previous cesarean section. Okay, so reason for previous cesarean section पूछेंगे कि failure to progress है कि नहीं. failure to progress. Okay, failure to progress है कि नहीं. failure to progress means a trial of labor was given but then the cervix did not open और patient had contracted pelvis जिसके वजह से बच्चा नीचे नहीं आया, तो there is some obstruction because of which labor did not progress. So अगर वो obstruction था, failure to progress था, then score is 0. Any other reason other than failure to progress will be score 1, will be favorable. अगर कोई और रीज़न के लिए fetal distress के लिए हुआ था तो it is not necessary कि इस बार भी fetal distress होगा, then you can give trial of labor. The fourth and fifth point are when you do a PV examination. So what is the dilatation of the cervix? If the dilatation of the cervix is less than 4 centimeters, then it is score 0. If it is more than equal 4 centimeters, that is the patient का pain अच्छा हो रहा है and cervix already खुल गया है, then you can go for normal labor. ठीक है, trial of labor करा सकते हो. And then comes your effacement. What do you mean by effacement? Effacement means taking up of the cervix. Means cervix पहले ऐसे रहता है, फिर धीरे धीरे क्या होता है, cervix is being taken up into the lower uterine segment. तो cervix धीरे धीरे lower uterine segment में मिल जाता है. This is called effacement during labor. So effacement, if it is less than 25%, we say in percentage कितना taken up हो गया cervix. If it is less than 25%, then it is 0. If it is 25 to 75% effacement, then it is score 1. And if it is more than 75% effacement, then it is score 2. So this is how we generally score. Based on your scoring, you have a final interpretation. Your final interpretation, if the final score is less than 3, okay, then you better go for LSCS और ERCS, इलेक्टिव रिपीट सिजेरियन सेक्शन कर दो, क्योंकि वेरी हाई फेलियर रेट ऑफ TOLAC होगा. ठीक है, इफ़ द स्कोर इज़ लेस देन 3. इफ़ द स्कोर इज़ 5, if it is 5, that is around 4 to 5 मान सकते हो, then it is almost 50% or more specifically 53.3% chance of having successful VBAC. If the score is 6 to 7, then the rate is 75 to 80% chance of having successful VBAC. And if score is more than equal 8, 9, 10 है, then you already have 90% chance of having a successful TOLAC. So if the score is 5 or less, we generally do not give TOLAC, हम उसको रिपीट सिजेरियन कर देते हैं. अगर स्कोर 5 या उससे 5 से ज़्यादा रहता है, 6 से ज़्यादा 10 तक रहता है, then we generally go for TOLAC. Okay, so this is what is important, how we give TOLAC to the patient. Now always remember some of the few contraindications for TOLAC. Number 1 is scar tenderness. Some patient may come to you and say that scar site में pain हो रहा है. ठीक है, previous जो cesarean scar है उसमें pain हो रहा है. Now it is your duty, patients में malinger also. Malingering मतलब सच में पेन नहीं है, लेकिन वो बोलेंगे पेन हो रहा है. So how do you know? Ask the patient to lie down in the bed. Okay, then you do a parabdominal examination. Parabdomen examination. In parabdomen examination, what you do is you try to feel with the ulnar border of your hand try to feel for any tenderness at the scar site. So what you do is you try to talk to the patient, and so that you deviate the attention of the patient. So attention nahi rahega, patient will be talking something like, ask the patient what job do you do, where is your house, she will be answering, and then try to see whether there is pain or not. If there is pain, if there is proper pain, and the patient winces with pain, then it is said that there is scar tenderness, so eliciting scar tenderness. So whenever in exam you are asked to elicit scar tenderness, remember you have to talk to the patient, and you have to let her attention deviate, and then try to see by pressing pressing the scar, whether she is wincing with pain. If she is not wincing with pain, then there is no scar tenderness. Okay. Then coming to your uterine scar. Uterine scar can be of two types, as we have already told. It can be a lower segment cesarean section. It can be a upper segment cesarean section. Upper segment cesarean section is also called classical cesarean section. Classical, which we used to do earlier. But nowadays we do a lower segment cesarean section. Lower segment cesarean section, LSCS, whereby we give Kerr's incision. Kerr's incision is lower segment cesarean section in the lower uterine segment. So lower uterine segment incision has got lower chance of scar dehiscence or uterine rupture. It is 0.2 to 1.5% chance of having dehiscence with your lower segment cesarean section, whereas upper segment cesarean section has 4 to 9% chance of having scar rupture in next pregnancy. So these incidences are very important. At the same time, I would like to also tell you what are the ACOG recommendations, that is American College of Obs and Gynae. What is their recommendation regarding the TOLAC, okay, whether TOLAC should be given or not. What is their recommendation? Number 1, patient consent is necessary. Without patient's consent, you cannot give trial of labor. If patient is telling मुझे नहीं कराना है, इसका मतलब नहीं कराना है, you have to go for elective repeat cesarean section. Then previous one cesarean section. Only previous one cesarean section will be given trial of labor. If she is previous 2 or previous 3 cesarean section, then American College of Obs and Gynae never says to give trial of labor. Then you have to go for elective repeat cesarean section. Then you have to see that the pelvis is adequate. Clinically adequate pelvis is required, because otherwise patient का ट्रायल देके क्या फ़ायदा, अगर नीचे से देर इज़ केफेलोपेल्विक डिस्प्रपोर्शन, बच्चा आ ही नहीं रहा है तो फिर कोई फ़ायदा नहीं. देन नो हिस्ट्री ऑफ स्कार रप्चर. इफ़ इन प्रीवियस सिजेरियन देर वॉज स्कार रप्चर या टाँके पहले फट गए थे वी बैक देते देते, then this time we will not give trial of labor. Okay. Then in centers where trial of labor is given, 24 hours OT facility and gynecologist and anesthetist should be available 24 hours, because any time you may need to take up the patient for cesarean section if there is scar rupture or if there is non-reassuring CTG. And number 6, patient should be well compliant. Patient's consent and compliance is very much required for giving trial of labor. Now, what are the absolute contraindications for your TOLAC? Okay, what are the absolute contraindications why we should not give TOLAC, in which patients it should not be given? Number 1, if there is prior classical cesarean section. Okay, if there is prior classical cesarean section or there is T-shaped cesarean section. T-shaped scar हो गया था पहले, लोअर सेगमेंट दिया था, बच्चा निकला नहीं, हमने T-shape करके extend कर दिया into the upper uterine segment, then we will not give trial of labor. Okay. Then your cephalopelvic disproportion, or if there is contracted pelvis, if the fetal head is larger than the maternal pelvis, then you cannot give trial of labor क्योंकि कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है. Then if the patient has refused for TOLAC, then you cannot give trial of labor unnecessarily. If 24 hours doctor and OT or anesthetist is not available, then also you cannot go for trial of labor. If there is previous history of scar rupture, then this time you will not give. If there is previous history of scar, pus in the previous scar, और इट इज़ ऑल्सो कॉल्ड SSI, सर्जिकल साइट इन्फेक्शन हुआ था, तो अभी नहीं देंगे क्योंकि पस बना हुआ जो स्कार है दैट इज़ वेरी नॉट दैट मच स्ट्रॉन्ग, it is weak scar and it will give away, so no need to give trial of labor for such patients. Okay, always remember spontaneous onset of labor has more chances of successful TOLAC rather than induction of labor, because spontaneous onset of labor has 0.4% chance of scar rupture. If a patient is undergoing TOLAC and patient का खुद से pain start हुआ है, then only 0.4% chance of scar rupture. Okay, it is 4 in 1000 cases. But if you have induced the labor, induction of labor has done, then it is almost 2.5% chance of scar rupture in this pregnancy. So it is almost 6 times higher. Very, very important, you should remember. Also remember there are other criteria like interpregnancy interval. What do you mean by interpregnancy interval? Interpregnancy interval means एक डिलीवरी से दूसरा डिलीवरी तक, इंटर डिलीवरी इंटरवल भी बोलते हैं, कितना. इफ इट इज़ लेस देन 18 months, दैट इज़ 1.5 years बिटवीन टू डिलीवरीज, प्रीवियस डिलीवरी से लेके अभी तक. अभी अगर पेशेंट टोलैक के लिए आ रही है या पेशेंट लेबर में आ रही है, लेबर रूम में, प्रीवियस बच्चा उसका 18 मंथ से कम एज का है, मीन्स 1.5 years से कम है, then better to go for elective repeat cesarean section rather than giving trial of labor for TOLAC, because the stitch line might not have healed by then. There are few other questions which people have. Is scar thickness an important criteria to see? Scar thickness के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है क्या कि हमें TOLAC दे सकते हैं कि नहीं. So now it is a established fact that scar thickness is no longer taken into account. Scar thickness पे डिपेंड नहीं करता है कि कितना strong होगा scar. If the history is suggestive that patient को पहले scar rupture हुआ है या फिर pus हो गया था, SSI हो गया था, surgical site infection, then irrespective of a thin scar, you will not give trial of labor. But if patient's other criteria, FLAM model में अच्छा score आ रहा है, then irrespective of a thin scar, you will give trial of labor. So this is very, very important. मोरओवर मैक्रोजोमिक बेबी, इफ बेबी का साइज बहुत बड़ा है, मैक्रोजोमिया है, कितना मैक्रोजोमिया, मोर देन 4 kg, देन बेटर टू गो फॉर इलेक्टिव रिपीट सिजेरियन सेक्शन रादर देन ट्रायल ऑफ लेबर. ओके, देन 1 लेयर वर्सेस 2 लेयर क्लोजर. ओके, 1 लेयर वर्सेस 2 लेयर, एक लेयर में यूट्रस क्लोज किया था एक स्टिच में वर्सेस 2 लेयर में. दिस ऑल्सो नाउअडेज इज इमटेरियल. बोलते हैं कि 1 लेयर में क्लोज करो या 2 लेयर में क्लोज करो, देर इज़ नो डिफरेंस इन आउटकम एज सीन इन स्टडीज. ओके, सो दीज आर फ्यू ऑफ द criteria which are important. Now when do you tell that there is scar rupture? How do you know clinically that patient का scar rupture हो गया? Okay, या फिर scar dehiscence. What is the difference between scar rupture and scar dehiscence? Okay, so scar rupture means this is the uterus. Suppose this is the uterus. Okay, lateral view I'm telling, and this is the peritoneum above the uterus. Okay, then the bladder comes, the bladder. Okay, so if the uterine scar has ruptured, it means scar आपका rupture हो गया, यहाँ पे आपका rupture हो गया, but the peritoneum is intact. Peritoneum is intact मतलब बेबी के जो contents है या बेबी है वो यूट्रस के बाहर आ गया, but then peritoneum के अंदर नहीं आया, मतलब इंट्रापेरिटोनियली नहीं आया, पेरिटोनियम इज इंटैक्ट, देन इट इज कॉल्ड स्कार डेहिसेंस. But when the peritoneum is also torn and baby comes to the intraperitoneal cavity, पेट के अंदर आ गया है, then it is called scar rupture. Very, very, very important and a viva question also. What is the difference between scar dehiscence and scar rupture? So how do you see clinically that scar has ruptured or not? So what are the maternal and fetal symptoms which come? Okay, fetal. Okay, so the maternal features which will come is number one, tachycardia. Patient's heart rate or pulse rate will increase because patient का एक स्कार रप्चर हो गया है, वो ब्लीड होगी पेट के अंदर, तो उसको टैकीकार्डिया आ जाएगा. Number two, there will be intense pain at the stitch line. There will be intense pain at the stitch line and patient will scream with pain. But sometimes diabetic patients do not have pain and they have silent scar rupture. Okay, so remember. Next, patient will have fresh bleeding per vaginum. Fresh bleeding आ जाएगा नीचे से क्योंकि scar rupture हो गया. Okay, then comes your bladder tenesmus. Bladder tenesmus मतलब bladder में there will be, patient will have a lot of pain and patient will feel like urinating बार बार. Bladder tenesmus आ जाएगा. ठीक है. Then your contractions will automatically go. अचानक से अब contractions आ रहे थे, अब contractions बंद हो जाएंगे क्योंकि यूट्रस तो ऑलरेडी फट गया है. सो दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर कभी कॉन्ट्रैक्शंस चला जाए तो दिस इज़ वेरी वेरी स्केरी. देन कम्स योर हीमेचूरिया. हीमेचूरिया अगर कभी ब्लैडर भी इन्वॉल्वमेंट हो गया देन यूरिन में भी ब्लड आने लगेगा, हीमेचूरिया आ जाएगा. ठीक है. एंड फीटल पार्ट्स गोइंग अबव. फीटल पार्ट्स गोइंग अबव मतलब पीवी करोगे तो पीवी में अभी अगर ये हेड फील हो रहा था तो अब हेड फील नहीं होगा, वो अचानक से बहुत ऊपर चला जाएगा क्योंकि वो एब्डोमिनल कैविटी में चला जाएगा. व्हाट आर द फीटल फीचर्स? नॉन रीअश्योरिंग एनएसटी. एनएसटी खराब हो जाएगा. ठीक है. एनएसटी या फिर सीटीजी कार्डियोटोकोग्राफ, ये नॉन रीअश्योरिंग हो जाएगा. सो देर विल बी फीटल डिस्ट्रेस, एक्यूट फीटल डिस्ट्रेस. देर कैन बी मेकोनियम स्टेन्ड लाइकर which will be found, and moreover you will have meconium stained liquor, and then fetal parts are more superficially felt. मतलब अचानक से पता चलेगा कि बच्चे का तो सारे ऑर्गन्स फील होने लग गए, पहले तो पेट के अंदर था, यूट्रस के अंदर था. सो दिस इज हाउ यू डायग्नोज. एंड वंस यू हैव डायग्नोज्ड यू हैव टू डू एन अर्जेंट सिजेरियन सेक्शन. तुरंत उसी समय सिजेरियन करना पड़ेगा वरना बच्चा मर जाएगा. सो एट दिस सेम टाइम आई वुड लाइक टू कंक्लूड विद द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट RCOG categorization of cesarean section. Categories of cesarean section. Very very important. Urgency के basis पे there are 4 categories of cesarean section. Category 1, 2, 3 and 4. Very important. MCQs आते हैं and your viva questions भी. Category 1 cesarean. Category 1 cesarean is when there is dire emergency. Like यहाँ पे आपका प्रीवियस स्कार फट गया, स्कार रप्चर हो गया, स्कार डेसेंस हो गया, कॉर्ड प्रोलैप्स हो गया. इन दिस केस डिसीजन टू डिलीवरी टाइमिंग मतलब अभी पता चला, डायग्नोसिस किया, तब से लेके डिलीवरी का टाइम शुड बी लेस देन 30 मिनट्स. 30 मिनट्स के अंदर OT में शिफ्ट करके पेशेंट का सिजेरियन करके ऑलरेडी बच्चा आउट करना पड़ेगा. सो व्हाट आर द एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ दिस? फॉर एग्जाम्पल योर नॉन रीअश्योरिंग CTG, ठीक है, विथ एक्यूट फीटल डिस्ट्रेस, कॉर्ड प्रोलैप्स, स्कार रप्चर, यूट्राइन रप्चर. दीज आर category 1 cesarean section. Category 2 cesarean section are emergency also, but they are not dire emergency. बच्चा अभी तुरंत मर नहीं जाएगा. So decision to delivery interval is preferably between 30 to 45 मिनट्स के अंदर बच्चे को आउट करना पड़ेगा. So इसके एग्जाम्पल क्या है? फेल्ड इंडक्शन. जैसे मान लो पेशेंट को इंड्यूस लेबर किया एंड इंडक्शन नहीं हुआ. ठीक है, पेशेंट को नहीं हुआ एंड देर इज़ नॉन रीअश्योरिंग CTG, बट देन कोई मेकोनियम स्टेन लाइकर वगैरह नहीं है तो फिर वो कैटेगरी 2 होगा. व्हाट इज़ कैटेगरी 3? कैटेगरी 3 इज़ सेमी इमरजेंसी. इट इज़ नॉट इन एमरजेंसी ऑफ कोर्स, यू कैन वेट फॉर अ फ्यू मिनट्स. ठीक है. सो डिसीजन टू डिलीवरी इंटरवल इज़ 45 to 75 मिनट्स का इंटरवल होना चाहिए. इसका एग्जाम्पल क्या है? लाइक प्रीवियस LSCS इन लेबर, प्रीवियस LSCS इन अर्ली लेबर आपके पास आई है, ठीक है, तो वो फट नहीं जाएगा तुरंत। और अगर वो एडवांस लेबर में आई और फिर बहुत मुश्किल है, टाँके फटने की कगार है, तो फिर तो वो कैटेगरी 1 हो जाएगा, डायर इमरजेंसी। प्रीवियस LSCS इन अर्ली लेबर है, ठीक है। उसके बाद हो गया आपका ये हो गया APH हो गया, लाइक प्लेसेंटल एब्रप्शन, प्लेसेंटल एब्रप्शन हो गया, बट देर इज़ नो फीटल डिस्ट्रेस, फीटल डिस्ट्रेस नहीं है। फीटल डिस्ट्रेस के साथ होगा तो वो कैटेगरी 1 हो जाएगा। एंड कैटेगरी 4 इज़ इलेक्टिव सिजेरियन सेक्शन। इलेक्टिव मतलब आप कितना भी वेट कर सकते हो, लाइक मोर देन 75 मिनट्स टाइम यू कैन वेट। सो ऑल इलेक्टिव सिजेरियन सेक्शन लाइक योर प्रीवियस सिजेरियन नॉट इन लेबर, प्रीवियस सिजेरियन वाली केस है, इलेक्टिव रिपीट सिजेरियन कर रहे हो, नॉट इन लेबर है, ठीक है। देन योर ब्रीच प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए सिजेरियन कर रहे हो, नॉट इन लेबर, इलेक्टिव सिजेरियन कर रहे हो, तो ये सारे कैटेगरी 4 में आएगा। बट ब्रीच इन लेबर विल बी कैटेगरी 3, it will be category 3. Okay, so this is how we categorize the cesarean sections based upon RCOG, that is Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, that is England का guideline है ये, ठीक है। It was given since 2010, it is in practice. Okay, so very important topic which we have studied today. First of all, starting with Flam and Giger model, how to do, then your Robson's classification, all the 10 classification, हमें cesarean cut down करना है in category 1, 3, 6, 7 and 10, and others also try to reduce, but these are the main categories where you have to reduce. Then comes your categorization of cesarean section by RCOG. What are the contraindications and indications for VBAC, which patients we generally give, and some of the percentages which are very important. So thank you for listening to this class, and I hope you all are studying properly along with me in this Medimantra series of classes. Every Tuesday and Friday we try to devote our time to obstetrics and gynecology. My pledge is to make you all learn the topic as fast as possible, and then of course sit down at home and try to solve the MCQs, because that is the need of the hour. Thank you so much.